Just a quick reminder, we're going to be taking all of next week off from producing our daily emails and podcasts, and we'll be back up in full production on Monday, July 9th. I hope you all have a great July 4th week. This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease.com is the perfect place to get your summer legal cannabis, assuming you live in a part of California where Ease is active, because they do all the driving for you. Why spend 1 minute this summer in the car when you don't have to? Instead of driving yourself to the dispensary to buy your legal cannabis products, have Ease bring them to you. Just open up ease.com to browse their extensive wares. And because Ease only partners up with the top dispensaries in their active areas, you know you're only going to get quality products at great prices. Get your order started in minutes and take delivery in less than an hour over at ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. Big thanks to everyone over at Ease for the support that makes today's news possible. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, June 29th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 522 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story today is the big news out of the U.S. Senate that a bill has been passed that includes language fully legalizing industrial hemp. This is the storyline we've been tracking over the past month or so as Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky worked hemp legalization language into the 2018 Farm Bill, a large and comprehensive agricultural bill that was approved yesterday by a vote of 86-11. If the pro-hemp legalization language survives the process of reconciliation with the House version of the bill, industrial hemp farmers will be free to grow, process, sell, and trade hemp, as well as to participate in all standard business banking services. It'd be a big move for sure. Senator McConnell, who hails from a state with a long history of hemp cultivation, should be rightly credited with pushing this one through to passage, though I'm still holding it against him that he's a traitorous Russian asset who helped steal a Supreme Court seat last year. Tom Angel has all the details over at Forbes. Marijuana Business Daily is a good story up, looking at some of the factors that are swirling around California's transition to stricter legal cannabis regulations as the calendar ticks over to July 1st. We've been talking about this storyline for a while now as the new tougher regulations for testing, labeling, and packaging go into effect after a 6-month transition period following the implementation of Amendment 64 on January 1st. Besides the additional costs of staying in compliance with the new rules, the small number of licensed testing facilities is also expected to introduce its own set of operational headaches. Zip over to this one for the full read, especially if your world at all involves legal California marijuana. Our final top story this fine Friday before heading into our summer vacation is the news that Canada has released some details for what the rules and regulations for its nationwide move into legal adult use marijuana will look like. Health Canada announced the proposed regulations yesterday with an eye on October 17th, the day set for when adult use will be fully legal. Zip over to Marijuana Business Daily for a quick rundown of some of the key highlights of the legislation and for a link through to Health Canada's actual regulations. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Take advantage today of the wide selection of properly tested, labeled, and packaged legal California cannabis products over at ease.com. From flower to concentrates and from topicals to edibles, Ease has you covered. From flower to concentrates and from topicals to edibles, ease.com has you covered. They take all the hassle out of getting your legal marijuana products by bringing them right to your door in less than an hour. What a world we live in. Make the most of your summer by maximizing your relaxation time using ease.com, which is spelled E-A-Z-E. Big thanks to everyone over at Ease for the support that makes this show possible. And remember, since June is Pride Month, Ease is donating 5% of their proceeds for the month to worthy nonprofits working to expand LGBTQ+ equality. So any orders made through this weekend through Ease help support that very awesome cause. One last time, just open up ease.com. All right, time for the Blitz. Soon after the good results were in for Tuesday's special election in Oklahoma over the legalization of medical marijuana, the specter of a specially called legislative session to pass a law setting up stricter guidelines for the program was raised by Governor Mary Fallin, who is very much not in favor of any kind of cannabis policy reform. Yesterday, a state Republican lawmaker said that it may be possible to just let the State Department of Health handle the whole situation. Republican House Majority Floor Leader John Echols told the Tulsa World newspaper that he'd be okay with not calling a special session if the Department of Health thinks it can properly run things. A spokesperson for the governor said that her position on the matter remains the same. Leafly has an instructive interview up with Stephen Schultz, Vice President of Investor Relations with UK-based GW Pharmaceuticals, which has been in the headlines in recent days for getting its cannabis-derived drug Epidiolex through the FDA approval process. That interview has some good insight on that process, as well as what's to come for Epidiolex in the coming weeks and months. Big congratulations to all my friends over at Forefront Holdings for their just announced Series D fundraising round of $13.4 million. I need to lay down a couple of disclosures on this one, as there are some ties between us and Forefront. For one, Forefront's co-founder and president Chris Crane is a good friend of mine and a host and regular on our weekly podcast, Marijuana Today. I also started out my professional cannabis career working with Forefront and developed the newsfeed email newsletter that we now run after we took it over from Forefront. It's a little convoluted. Anyway, Forefront specializes in legal marijuana consulting and operates a bunch of marijuana dispensaries under their Mission brand. They say they will use the proceeds of this latest big round to fund their operations and expansion. Nice work to everyone over at Forefront. The Voice of San Diego has a great story up that illustrates the broad principle that it takes a lot more energy to refute bullshit than it does to create it in the first place, which actually nicely sums up a lot of what's wrong with dictator Trump. But I digress. In San Diego, a former police chief testified to the city council last year about the supposed negative impacts of legal marijuana dispensaries on crime statistics that has since been shown to be lies. Former police chief Shelley Zimmerman conflated calls to police to businesses near cannabis dispensaries into statistics she reported last year as for calls to the dispensaries themselves. While that's bad enough as it is, Zimmerman's lies are now being picked up and used by prohibitionists in other parts of California to argue against the industry. Opening this one up for the full read. The Canadian city of Vancouver just updated its laws for marijuana dispensaries to include, for the first time, adult use shops. The city council more or less expanded their current medical marijuana regulations to include adult use dispensaries. Marijuana Business Daily takes a look at some of the numbers behind the potential impact that Arizona's medical marijuana industry could see in the wake of a decision announced earlier this week banning any forms of medical cannabis besides flower. We reported on this one yesterday, so it's still very fresh, but in short, if the ruling is allowed to stand, it could cut tens of millions of dollars in industry revenue, to say nothing of the shameful loss of access to the state's medical marijuana patients, some of whom require non-flower modalities to feel best. And finally for today, Canadian licensed marijuana company Aphria just wrapped up a very, very large offering as they sold just under 22 million shares of stock for a total round of $258,750,794 Canadian, which the company has announced will be used to build out and expand their operations, both within Canada and on the international scope. There might not be a lot of people in Canada, but there sure is a lot of cannabis investment. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again on Monday, July 9th with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, send us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. How do you make a casserole? Put it on a skateboard and give it a push. Thanks to our sponsor Ease and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.